Prince Harry is back in the UK, and this visit feels different. Not in a hopeful, maybe he's mending fences way, but like a man circling the palace, trying to crash a party he was never invited to. From the moment he touched down, laid a wreath for the late Queen, and made sure the press captured it. It wasn't subtle. It was deliberate, desperate even, like someone trying to prove he still exists, still feels, still belongs, while much of the public has already moved on. Let's be honest. Harry isn't here on a royal invitation. This is being called a fake royal tour. 4 days of engagements lined up, yet barely a whisper from Buckingham Palace. No warm welcome, no public acknowledgement, just silence. And silence from the royal family speaks louder than any headline, especially when your father, the literal king, is only a few hundred miles away and still can't be bothered to notice. Every move Harry makes now is a reminder that he's trying to reclaim a place that, for many, has already moved on. King Charles hasn't even officially acknowledged that Harry is in the country. Some speculate there could be a private meeting between father and son, away from the cameras. After all, they are family. But if it happens, it won't be out of love. It would be pure damage control. Whenever anyone in the royal family interacts with Harry, the public reacts. Tabloids explode, approval ratings dip, and the palace scrambles to manage the fallout. Any secret meeting would likely be buried under layers of denial. But realistically, it probably won't happen. Meanwhile, Prince William's calendar is packed, like he's running a marathon anywhere but near Harry. Every day of Harry's visit is filled with scheduled engagements, mental health visits, charity events, memorials. These aren't last-minute fillers. They're planned well in advance. And if there had been even a single opening, it's almost certainly been filled. Every move seems deliberate. Harry tries to reclaim relevance while William keeps a calculated distance, publicly and privately, avoiding his brother at every turn, making the absence of any real reconciliation painfully obvious. Harry isn't playing the forgive and forget game. He's not pretending to, and that's probably gnawing at him. He's trying to claw his way back into the royal fold, but no one is offering a hand. He's attempting to manufacture royal relevance, while those who wear the crowns treat him like yesterday's headline. And it's not just emotional. Money plays a role too. No one likes to say it, but it's true. Harry and Meghan don't have a steady, guaranteed income. Netflix money doesn't flow weekly, and keeping up a high-profile California lifestyle isn't cheap. So when Harry shows up at charity events like Wellchild, questions linger. Did he come for the cause or for attention? He's been connected to that charity for 17 years, yet now every appearance feels scrutinized. Every handshake, every photo, every speech is dissected, blending genuine effort with a very public push to remind the world, and the palace, that he still matters, still commands attention, and still wants to reclaim relevance. Harry is clicking photos, presenting awards, all while conveniently on this so-called tour. No one's denying he cares, but let's be honest, this is also a PR exercise. It's about reclaiming the title of Prince, the one who was overshadowed after Meghan entered the picture, and Meghan, completely absent, which is telling in itself. She's made it clear she won't return to the UK unless absolutely necessary. Some say it's for safety, others for pride. The truth is, Meghan's absence is strategic. She doesn't want the conflict, nor does she want to face a family that never truly accepted her. So Harry goes alone, attempting to clean up a mess and rebuild a bridge that burned years ago. He's putting on a high-stakes re-entry act, acting as if his unofficial royal status still carries weight. But this isn't 2018. The goodwill is gone, the trust is fractured, and public perception is far less forgiving. Every handshake, every photo, every public appearance is scrutinized, making it clear that Harry's royal relevance is no longer guaranteed. The sympathy card? That has been played to death. The Monarchy isn't looking for another Oprah interview or Netflix drama. They've made it clear. They're closing ranks. And Harry? He's outside, tapping on the glass, hoping someone will let him back in. On paper, he's doing all the right things. Public appearances, speeches, charity work. He even laid that wreath as if it were a sacred gesture, hoping it might soften a few hearts. But it isn't working. People see through it. They remember the security lawsuit. They remember him taking the UK government to court, calling it a setup, acting as if the nation that raised him suddenly became unsafe. That didn't just upset politicians. It struck a nerve with everyday people who once called him the people's prince. Now there's a double standard. He says the UK is too dangerous for his kids, too risky for Meghan, yet he appears publicly, performing royal gestures, trying to convince the world and the palace that he still belongs, still matters, and can reclaim relevance despite the past. He keeps flying in solo, no problem. So what's changed? Nothing except his need for attention and relevance keeps growing. His team insists he wants reconciliation, claiming it's up to the royal family now. But let's be honest. You can't torch the house and then expect to get your room back. This visit is Harry's longest stay in the UK since the Queen's funeral. He's stretching it out, lingering for days, as if waiting for someone to pull him aside and say, "All right, let's talk." But no one is. Charles remains in Scotland, mourning privately. William dodges every opportunity to cross paths. And Meghan? She's living her unbothered life in California, likely sipping tea in Monaco and watching it all unfold like a limited series she executive produced. The tension is clear. Harry isn't just trying to win back his family, he's attempting to rewrite his story. But the cast isn't cooperating, leaving him caught between public gestures and private rejection, desperate to reclaim relevance that may no longer be his. They're not interested in his redemption arc, especially William, who is said to have drawn the hardest line in the sand. Some insiders even claim the palace deliberately timed William's public engagements to coincide with Harry's visit, ensuring no accidental encounters, no photo ops, nothing. It all feels calculated, and that has to sting. For Harry, this isn't just about duty or tradition, it's about identity. He left the UK trying to be something new, a modern man, a father, a husband. Somewhere along the way, he lost that strong sense of self. Now he's drifting, neither fully royal nor fully Hollywood, caught in a strange in-between where neither world fully claims him. And the public isn't buying the story anymore. Every move is scrutinized as a media strategy. Every tearful speech is picked apart. People are exhausted. The empathy well has dried up. If Harry thought returning would act as a soft reset, he's learning fast. Palace dynamics, public perception, and his own fractured identity make this visit far more complicated than any PR team could manage, leaving him isolated in a world he once called home. This isn't a movie. There's no dramatic reunion, no swelling music as he embraces his brother or kneels before his father in apology. This is real life. Bridges don't rebuild themselves just because you flew across the ocean. Rumors say Harry still hopes to return to the UK full-time, bring the kids, maybe even take on an honorary role if the mood ever shifts. But that's a fantasy, a dream for someone who hasn't accepted that the old life is gone. The doors aren't just closed, they're bolted shut. The palace isn't waiting with open arms, and the public isn't clamoring for his comeback. People don't remember the young prince walking behind Diana's coffin. They remember him in a California mansion, pointing fingers across the Atlantic. The kicker? He's not hated, not entirely. Some still quietly sympathize, hoping for reconciliation. But that goodwill is fragile. Reality is harsher. Harry's old life is gone, and the path back is blocked, both by the family he once called home and the public that no longer fully embraces him. There's still a segment of the public that wants to see Harry make peace, especially older people who remember the pain he endured as a child. But even they are running out of patience. Years have passed, and every attempt he makes to fix things only seems to stir the pot further. It's as if he's trying to apologize with a microphone in hand, and that's exactly what doesn't work. The royal family operates differently. They don't hold public therapy sessions. They don't respond to press tours or reconcile through interviews. They close doors, draw curtains, and wait for storms to pass. But Harry keeps knocking louder each time, convinced that if people simply understood his side, it would change everything. Meghan's influence is impossible to ignore. She faced her own battles with the royal family and never looked back. When she left, she slammed the door. From the outside, she's moved on. New projects, new ventures, a new life. Meanwhile, Harry is still pacing the gate, hoping for entry, holding onto a world that has largely moved forward without him, trying to reclaim relevance in a place where goodwill is fragile and fleeting. Harry is someone who never fully made peace with walking away. It's evident he's been distancing himself, both physically and emotionally, from the California life he built. Each trip to the UK stretches longer than the last, and every excuse to remain on royal soil feels more like a retreat than a visit. Insiders say he's admitted to friends that he misses his old life, the structure, the family traditions, and even the sense of purpose that came with his title. That's the hardest realization. The life he thought he was escaping was the one where he truly had direction. The constant talk of security, or Meghan feeling uncomfortable returning to the UK, begins to sound like noise. A deflection from the harder truth. They burned the bridge publicly, and they did it willingly. Now, as Harry tiptoes back, he's learning some bridges don't come with blueprints for rebuilding, especially when your brother refuses to even glance your way and your father remains distant. Harry finds himself caught between the life he left behind and a future that won't fully welcome him, struggling to reclaim relevance in a world that has moved on. Harry has to schedule even his grief over his mother around a PR calendar. None of it seems to land. He's still trying, laying wreaths, shaking hands, smiling for cameras, as if these gestures carry deeper meaning. Maybe they do, at least to him. He might believe that if he says the right thing or performs well enough, the royal family will let him back in. But the truth is harsher. The story is written, the firm has moved on, and the roles he once knew are filled. Harry is performing a character no one believes in anymore, hoping that gestures can rewrite history.